Most people, when they go on a weight loss plan, their primary concern is losing this belly fat because it's actually visible. They see it, they're disgusted by it, and they want to get rid of it. But what if I told you that there's another type of fat that's way more dangerous than the actual physical part of the belly fat that you can physically see? That fat is called visceral fat. This is the type of fat that surrounds your organs, and this is the kind of fat that you should be focusing on more rather than actually looking at the physical belly fat. So today, in this video, I want to give you 5 breakfast ideas that's going to dramatically reduce the amount of visceral fat that you have around your organs. Some of these foods I have right here, and we're going to talk about 5 different types that you can have. Now, you can do all 5 of these, or maybe there's 1 or 2 that you're really going to like. I would suggest that you stick with those for the duration of the 5 days. Now, before we begin, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Tim Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach who lost 70 pounds all the way back in 2018 doing a combination of the keto diet with intermittent fasting and strength training. Now, I managed to keep that weight off for a good couple years, but then 2020 happened. I regained some of that weight back, and I just couldn't get back on the keto diet with intermittent fasting. So I struggled for a good 4 years until this time in 2025, I had enough. So I started in January, did a 5-day fast, dropped 15 pounds, and then by March, I lost a total of 43 pounds. I went from 233 to 190. Yes, you heard that right, in just 10 solid weeks. And I've also coached hundreds of men from all over the world to lose at least 40 pounds in 16 weeks using my Keto Shed 40 coaching program. If you want more info on that, I'll go ahead and put a link in the description of this video. That'll take you to another video that kind of explains more in detail as to what it is I do and how I could potentially help you. Okay, so let's talk about breakfast number 1. This is like the trinity of all breakfasts, and this is one that I did at the beginning of this year, and I did back in 2018 as well. So this is gonna be your eggs, all right? So we've got organic, cage-free eggs, which are actually starting to go down in price at Costco. I think this cost me like $8.17 for 2 dozen. So if you can imagine, that's like a little over $4 a dozen. So if you want to go to Costco to get your Kirkland organic brown eggs, I would suggest that. And I would have 4 of these every single day. And yes, eat the yolk. The yolk is very important. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals in the yolk. So don't be afraid to eat the yolk. Okay, so now with those eggs, you can have bacon, okay? 3 to 4 strips of bacon with those 4 eggs. And you want to make sure, I forgot to mention, cook your eggs in grass-fed butter like this Kerrygold butter, okay? Really, really good butter, all right? And then what you can have with your eggs and your bacon, another staple that I always put in my meals, you have to have some avocados. These are excellent. And did you know that avocados have double the potassium than a banana? Much more fiber, more potassium, and this is going to dramatically help you lose that visceral fat, okay? So that is breakfast number 1. Now, breakfast number 2 is going to be same thing. You're going to do at least 4 eggs cooked in grass-fed butter, but you are going to make about 6 to 8 ounces of grass-fed, grass-finished beef. So it's got to be grass-fed and grass-finished beef. This one is a really good one that I get at Costco as well. So 6 to 8 ounces with your 4 eggs. And again, with these eggs and the beef, avocado. So how much avocado? I would recommend maybe start with a half, okay? Half of an avocado, wrap it up, put it in the fridge, and you can have your other half of avocado the next day, okay? So you're gonna be eating a lot of avocados, all right? So that would be breakfast number 2. Now, breakfast number 3, you can have 4 eggs cooked in butter with steak, and you can't forget more avocados. If you've noticed, there's a little bit of a trend here, okay? Most of your breakfast is gonna consist of eggs and avocado, but the meats are gonna change, all right? So we had the eggs cooked in butter with the grass-fed beef, like I just said, all right? And avocado. Now, the 4th breakfast idea that you could have, guess what? 4 eggs cooked in butter, but something a little different. You're gonna get these cooked, uncured Polish 100% beef sausage. These things are probably the best sausages that I could find at Costco. And let's see here. They're never fed grain, so that's very important. They're pasture raised, all right? They're never given hormones, never given antibiotics, are treated with care, and allowed to roam naturally. So these are absolutely excellent. They're 100% grass-fed beef. Sausages, most of your sausages are made from pork, but this is 100% beef, okay? Now, if some of these things you don't like, now obviously I just mentioned there's 4 of these already, you can kind of mix this up, you know? Maybe you like just eggs, bacon, and avocado. We'll stick for that for the whole 5 days. Maybe there's a couple meals that you like in this. Stick with that for the 5 days. Or maybe you want variety and you want to eat something different all throughout the 5 days, all right? Now, another thing you could have is too, if you want to be even quicker, you could have like 4 eggs with the avocado and maybe these beef jerky sticks. These are really good. They're called chomps. So if you want to have something like this with your eggs, you can have a couple of these. I mean, these are so low in calories. They're only 100 calories. You could literally have 2 of these with eggs and avocado. That would be a great meal to have as well. Now let's talk about one of my favorite breakfasts. That is breakfast number 5. Okay, breakfast number 5, pretty simple. You're not going to eat any of this. You're going to do what's called fasting. Okay, you're going to fast for 24 hours. You're not going to eat anything. And what this is going to do is a ton of different things. Okay, you're going to shed a lot of water weight. You're going to start to feel more energized. You're going to give your body a break from digesting foods all the time. You got to think, right? Every time you're eating, your organs have to digest this food. Well, sometimes your digestive system just needs a break. Give your organs a break. Do some fasting. This is something I do every single weekend. Is I'll fast for 48 hours every weekend. And every single time I do this, I lose 3 to 4 pounds every single week when I do a 48-hour fast. This is an excellent way to really manage your blood sugar levels, your insulin levels, because you got to remember every time you eat, you spike a little bit of blood sugars, you spike insulin, and this is what causes people to not lose weight because they're constantly going up and down with their blood sugar levels. Well, when you fast, all of that stuff comes down. So those are the 5 breakfast ideas that you can try that's going to dramatically start reducing this most dangerous fat, which is called visceral fat. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel, and always hit that notification bell so you don't miss any future episodes. Until next time, I'll see you then.